baby. Oh, baby. You are so good to me, baby. Just
hello, Easy Nation, and welcome to episode 8 of the Darth Easy Show. So, once again, guys, thanks you for listening to another episode of the Darth Easy Show. And we have another exciting week for you this week. A lot of stuff has calmed down. A lot of my TV shows have calmed down. So, this may not be the longest episode of the Darth Easy Show. But hey, the show must go on. And I have some exciting stuff to talk to you about. And so if you're new to the show, let me basically give you the rundown of how the show works. Each episode on my Darth Easy YouTube channel, I do the basics of movies, televisions, video games, anime, book. Fortunately, I don't have time to do every week do a review, and this is like a weekly update of all the things I've been doing, movies, TV, video game, anime, books-wise. So this is a little update and a little, discussion, a little spoiler reviews of some of the things I've talked about before. So overall, this is episode 8. This is the 8th week I've been doing this show. So let's kick this show off right by talking about the movies. This was a very good weekend in the movies. I saw the movie was one of my most anticipated movies of the summer, and that was a movie called Baby Driver. Baby Driver is a movie starring Ansel Elgort, Kevin Spacey, Lily James, John Bernthal, John Hamm, and Jamie Foxx, and there are some other actors in there as well, but I named off most of the actors. And basically what this movie is a movie directed by Edgar Wright. And Edgar Wright has this very style to his directing. Edgar Wright is probably one of the most individualized directors we have working today. I think when you think of a director, it's style. You think of Edgar Wright, you think of directors like Guy Ritchie, you think of directors like Matthew Vaughn. They have these particular styles that they have in their movies. And sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. Like, for instance, I think it was a bad thing in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I'm in the minority here. I understand that. But I feel like that movie has too much style over substance. And that's my main problem with that movie. But Baby Driver, I really, really like this movie. First off, the acting in this movie. Oh my god, the acting in this movie was so good. Ansel Elgort, he was in those terrible Divergent movies. Not really his fault, but, it's a gig for him and, some easy money for him. But I thought he did a really good job in this movie. And one thing I really liked about this movie, get a little off track, but not really off track, is the soundtrack. The soundtrack of Baby Driver, sometimes when they just force all this music into a movie, sometimes it can feel unnatural. And this movie, it felt very natural. It felt very cohesive in the story. And it did something that the movie Guardians of the Galaxy did back in 2014. It made the music a character in the movie. The character, he's basically deaf. It's hard for him to hear. And the music, it kind of drains out the noise. And so it makes life a little easier for him. So, and some of the other actors in there was really good. Jamie Foxx played this really crazy character. I thought he did a really good job. Kevin Spacey is one of the best actors acting today. And, I talked about him when I did my review of House of Cards. But he is such a tuned-in actor. He's just so good in this role. And this is the first good movie I've seen Kevin Spacey in a while. It's just his performance in this movie was just so good. He plays this guy. He's the guy who gets all these robbers in to do the heist. He's the brains behind the operation. He's like, you go here, you go here, you go there. It's a very, very cohesive operation for him. Other actor I really liked was John Hamm. I thought John Hamm was the best I've seen him in since Mad Men. I thought he was really good in this role. And Lily James, this is a girl who I think just has so much talent in the world. I heard she was in that one show, the British show, Downton Abbey. That's a show I've been meaning to watch, just haven't really got around to it. So I'll watch it eventually one day. But overall, I really, really like Baby Driver. If you like car chase scene movies, if you just like car action movies, the action in the movie is just really cool. There's this one scene with a gun, and it was just, I don't want to give too many spoilers away because the movie comes out today. So guys, check out Baby Driver. It's in theaters right now. Get off your asses and go see Baby Driver. And now it's time for the classic movie review. Every Sunday I have a classic movie for each week of the month. And this week it was The Fifth Element. Why am I watching The Fifth Element? Well, I'll give you the answer right now. Every month, me and Rainy Cage, a YouTuber I work with quite a bit, we take a movie that the other has to watch for the Easy K show. And this month, he chose the movie The Fifth Element because Luc Besson's Valerian and the City of a Thousand Worlds is coming out in July. And I really wasn't looking forward to watching The Fifth Element. The movie just wasn't for me. And I'll get right to it. I think the movie's okay. I don't think the movie's perfect. I don't think the movie's bad. I think the movie's okay. A lot of what the movie is, for me, is just cheesy sci-fi. And cheesy sci-fi is just, it's not my jam. I'm more of a serious sci-fi kind of person. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot I like about this movie, but there's a lot I not like about this movie. Some of the performances were just a little weird in it. And there are things in this movie I liked. So first off, like Bruce Willis. I thought Bruce Willis did a fine job. But there was moments where I felt like Bruce Willis. There was a moment whenever everyone was basically overwhelming. And there were all these criminals there. Overwhelming Bruce Willis. I was like, so this is basically becoming a Die Hard movie at the moment. Okay, I mean, that's fine. Just, I didn't really need that. The other thing was that there was this one girl, Mila Jovovich, which was her breakout role before she did those, I guess, terrible Resident Evil movies. And she doesn't speak English, a big part of this movie. And Rainy Cage told me today that he was just like, so that's just too big of a negative for you. I was like, I don't understand that. My main negative behind this is I don't understand why she has to speak this made up language of Sisa nu nani nu ni na nu ni ni nu ni na ni na ni 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 nu nu, because she was built by these aliens who've been studying humanity for hundreds or thousands of years. So all languages should have been like programmed into her head. So there was no reason for her to speak a made-up language. I just didn't understand that part of the movie. The actor I really liked the most in this movie was probably Ian Holm. I thought he did a really good job, and I really like Chris Tucker in this movie. Fifth Element's a movie it's an okay movie. It's just not the greatest movie. I was expecting a little more because every review I've ever heard of this movie was, oh my god, this movie is so awesome. And I didn't get that from it. So check out my full review of The Fifth Element right now on the Darth Easy YouTube channel. And now it's time to go on to the next segment of the show, the TV. This is everything talking about the TVs I've watched this week. We really only have 2 episodes to talk about, so let's get right to it. So first off, we have Doctor Who, Season 10, Episode 11, World Enough and Time. So this episode of Doctor Who was, they go to this... So the Doctor wants to test out Missy to see if she can maybe be redeemed and maybe she can learn to be a good person again. So they test her out on this astronaut or this space station, and it's this weird old space station, which it's a very very interesting moment in this episode where. It played with this thing with gravity, where Bill goes all the way down. She gets shot and she has to get her heart replaced, basically. And on the top of the space station, 10 seconds had gone, or like 5 minutes had gone by. But for Bill and her character, it was like 10 or so years. It was like years had gone by. So it was very, very interesting in this movie. And in this episode, really, we introduced the original Cybermen. And the thing about this episode I liked the most was that they've been alluded to in the little teaser, is that the Master had come back. And not just any Master, John Simm's Master. And it was great to see him again. It was just because I completely forgot that he was in the teaser trailer for Doctor Who Season 10. And when I saw him, I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And what's cool when he takes off his mask, you hear his music from the season 3 and the special of Doctor Who. When you hear that, overall, I really like this episode. I'm curious to see how it ends. I'll talk more about Doctor Who. That'll probably be the theme of next week, as it is the season finale. And now the only other show really to talk about is Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. Season 4, Episode 17, Back Scenes. safety. So this episode, last week tonight, basically John Oliver was talking a little about the Trump things, but mainly he was talking about what was going on with basically just safety, how people need to get their kids vaccinated. And he was looking at the pros and cons, how it was getting sued by the coal companies, and it was a very funny episode. I forgot to talk about. I have two things more to talk about on TV, and really it's just the luck of the draw. The first thing to talk about is Sherlock Season 4. Here's the thing with Sherlock. Sherlock came out at the beginning of the year. I watched the first 2 episodes the week they came out. Then I was like, well, I need to watch one more episode. And then I procrastinated. And then I procrastinated. And I procrastinated. And here we are. 5 months later, when it was put on Netflix, I decided, let's watch this final episode of Sherlock. And you know what? This season of Sherlock was a very good season. Not my favorite season of Sherlock, but a very good show. This season, they showed the death of Mary. And then you also introduced another Holmes kid, his sister. And it was such a really interesting dynamic between the two. It was just a very cat and mouse kind of thing. And, you know, at the end of season 3, everyone was like, oh, maybe Moriarty's back. He wasn't back. And they had a scene with Moriarty where he shows up and he's dancing with his music. I was like, oh, man, that's Jim Moriarty. But then it goes 5 years earlier. You're like, okay, that makes sense. This was a good episode. This was a good season of Sherlock. I'm curious if there's going to be a season 5. I don't know if there will be or not. But it did set itself open for another season. And I don't know if it will or not, but I really like this season of Sherlock. The only other thing I got to talk about, and this is going to be a little small review of it, is the first episode of Glow. I started watching Glow, which stands for Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. And I've only watched the first episode, and right so far, I mean, I really like it. You got to see Alison Brie naked, which, you know, I applaud to that. So you can't really beat that. But other than that, the acting's really good in it, and I'll talk more about it next week. Alright, now it's time to move on to video games. Everything I'm playing in the world of video games. I played a couple games this week. Not much into them. I started playing Fallout 4 again. Started a new character. And, you know, it's a game that's hard to get into. Because, you know, after I played Kingdom Hearts 2, I was like, man, I really want to play a video game. Then I started playing Fallout 4. I was like, well, maybe not. So, Fallout 4, very fun game to play. And the only other game I played this week, I played Sid Meier's Civilization 6. I was like, I want to really beat this game. I have not actually won a game of Civilization yet because I keep getting distracted. I keep losing. So I have not really actually completed a game of Civilization. When I do, I'll probably talk about it on here. But really not much to talk about in the world of video games. Next is to talk about is anime. This is everything going on in the Japanese anime studios. So first thing to talk about is Boruto, Naruto Next Generation, Episode 12, Boruto and Mitsuki. This episode was, a lot of it was, they believe the ghost had disappeared. Boruto and Mitsuki are getting a little closer together. And it was a very, very interesting episode. I really like Boruto, what I've seen so far. It's a very interesting show. There's really not much to talk about. Mitsuki kind of reveals to Boruto that he's like, I know who the person is, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the character. I forget the character's name. All I really remember them calling her is the class rep. It's most likely going to be her, and the Naruto and them are dealing with something out or inside town. So it'll be a very interesting episode. The next episode to talk about is Attack on Titan, Season 2, Episode 9, Opening. And basically what this episode was that the two characters had basically got the main character, they're in the trees, and he's like, I need to plot my escape. He's like, I can't do it. I'll get eaten alive by the Titan. So he's really stuck to stay there. He's waiting for his opening, and there's really not much to talk about in this episode. And one thing I really did like about the episode was the blonde character. He thinks he started thinking he was actually a soldier, but really he's just a warrior. He's just a tool that the Titans use. I'm curious to learn more and more about this world, but so far we really don't know much. So it'll be interesting to see as the show goes on. We got 3 more weeks of Attack on Titan. The show is actually concluded, on the Japanese. But I'm watching English dub, so I will not be watching ahead. I'm going to wait for the dub because the dub is fantastic. I do not like watching shows English subbed, even though I watch that for Boruto. But Boruto I can get over. And now talk about books. It's time to talk about Ahsoka. Unfortunately, I did not read a single page of Ahsoka, so I will not be talking about anything about Ahsoka. So really, I don't have much left to talk about for next week. This is the upcoming movies coming out. There's that movie, The House, with Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell's hit and miss for me, so I probably won't be seeing that. I might go see Despicable Me 3. I might. And I'm not going to make a promise, though. I probably won't be seeing that. So, next week, once again, it's probably going to be a really slow week for movies. My classic movie review next week is Amazing Spider-Man 2. I've actually already watched this. My review will be out Sunday. Won't give any spoilers, but I did do a little bit of a rant. It's like an 8 or 9 minute video, so enjoy that when it comes out. But the last upcoming thing I really want to talk about, well, I got 2 upcoming things to talk about. Big Brother premieres, today's Wednesday technically when I'm recording this video. It's really Wednesday morning right now, 3:43 a.m. And Big Brother comes out today, and I'll be talking about that show. It's a reality show that's decent enough to watch. So I'll talk about that next week. And then what also comes out is, what I'm most excited about next week is Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot, the remastered editions of the first 3 Kingdom Hearts. the first 3 Crash Bandicoot games are being remastered and put on PS4. The game's made by Naughty Dog. I'm looking forward to this game. I pre-ordered on GameStop because I don't know when I'm going to actually I didn't know when I would actually be able to go buy the game. So it's like, I'm just going to have it shipped to my house. So that's the plan. I'm going to be getting Crash Bandicoot, which hopefully will be here by Saturday or Monday. Hopefully Saturday. I'm looking forward to Crash Bandicoot. And that concludes an episode 8 of the Darth Easy Show. So guys, make sure you comment in the section below. Tell me what can I do to improve the show. What movies do you want me to watch and talk about? And what did you think about Baby Driver? That is the theme of the episode. So guys, as always, make sure you follow me on Twitter. Make sure you follow me subscribe to my YouTube channel. Get that subscriber channel up. And make sure you follow me on the iTunes channel. And guys, I enjoy doing this every week. I know this episode's a little shorter, but hey, a little shorter listen. Can't always beat that. The show will probably get longer as the weeks go along, as my TV starts to die down. But it will get longer when the year when we get back into the fall. So guys, until next time, all too easy and peace out. I'll see y'all next week. Bye.
And my temperature goes sky high. I'm weak for you and can't help it. You know I really don't want to help it. B-A-B-Y, baby. B-A-B-Y, baby. Whenever the sun don't shine, you throw out the light line. Then I get real close to you, and your sweet kisses see me through. I say, baby, oh baby, you look so good to me, baby, baby, oh